Hello and welcome back to the Mauldin High Broadcast Network. My name is Andrew Baxley. I'm alongside Ben Coggins, Marcos Perez, Landon Myers, Kevin De Silva, Brendan Bress, and we got two special guests here with us. Rising senior wide receiver and guard for the Mauldin Mavericks. You got Jameson Tucker. And then rising junior defensive back for the Mavericks, we got Randy Caldwell. We'll get to an interview and a special game with them a little bit later. But what we're going to start out with, we got just one quick update on Mauldin recruiting. Rising junior defensive back Jaden Lucas was offered by Clemson on Monday. A huge offer. That's basically the first day. A rule that Clemson has is they don't offer anyone that is younger than a junior. So basically the first day that Jaden was considered a junior, they offered him. So that's huge. We'll definitely keep he'll monitor that one as we go on. He's got plenty of other offers. We'll read those off as we go along. But what we're going to start with, we'll preview the Mauldin Mavericks and the Spartanburg Vikings, which will be week 2 of the high school football season. The Mavericks are head coached by Sarah Neesmith in his first season. They were 6-6 last year, finished 4th in the region. They made it to round 2 of the 5A state playoffs. They will play York week 1. I think we all predicted a win for that one last week. George Ford, 2021 running back, has an offer from Campbell. Jameson Tucker, who's here with us, 2021 wide receiver offered by Army, ECU, North Carolina Central, and William and Mary. He's a 3-star, the number 14 player in South Carolina, according to 247 Sports. Randy Caldwell, the other one here with us, is a 2022 defensive back who has an offer from Liberty and Ole Miss. And then the big one, the final player we'll preview here for the Mavericks, got Jaden Lucas, another 2022 defensive back, has offers from Clemson, Auburn, West Virginia, Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Georgia, Arkansas, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, LSU, App State, Duke, Virginia Tech, and Florida. He is the number 2 player in South Carolina for his class, according to 247 Sports. And then for the Spartanburg Vikings, they're head coached by Mark Hodge. They were 3-7 last year, finished 6th in the region. They did not make the playoffs. They will play Gaffney week 1, which should be a tough one for them. A couple of key players for them, Paris Ferguson, a 2021 outside linebacker. He's a 3-star, according to Rivals. App State are very interested in him. They got Matthew Smith, 2021 offensive lineman and long snapper, who is offered by McAllister and Presbyterian. Then one of the big ones for them, Will Fowler, a 2021 kicker, offered by Air Force, Randolph-Macon, West Virginia, and Clemson. He's a 5-star and the number 1 kicker in South Carolina for his class. Then Seth Smith, one of the 2 quarterbacks. He's a pro-style QB, the number 30 player in South Carolina. According to 247, he has an offer from Memphis. Then they got their other quarterback, Raheem Jeter, a 2023 QB, transferred from Greer, who we played them last year. He's offered by Auburn, Missouri, Charlotte, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia Tech, and Memphis. And last year in the matchup between these two teams, Mauldin won 35-32 in overtime at Spartanburg's place. And then the year before that, Mauldin won again in overtime, but that time it was at Freeman Field. So these two teams have been very competitive with each other over the past 2 seasons that they played, both going into overtime, both being won by the Mavericks. So we'll get into some predictions here. We'll start off with Ben. Ben, what are your thoughts on this games, and give me the prediction for the final?
Yeah, and obviously Raheem Jeter transferring from Greer, that's going to play a big role in this game. I mean, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the state, but this defense handled him well last year, and in my opinion, this defense is going to be stronger than it was last year. The main question is, as it will be pretty much all season, is going to be at quarterback. I think Jeb's going to end up taking the job, and there's this chance to step up big, and if he does, I think Mauldin can definitely handle this game. I think it's even if he doesn't, I think it's going to be a low-scoring slugfest, and in any kind of defensive games, I'm going to take Mauldin against pretty much anybody. So I've got Mauldin winning this one.
Next up is Marcos.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a game that's won in the trenches. I could see us using the beast formation quite often, especially against that edge rusher that they have, that 3-star, who's looking pretty good, going to App State, of course. So if the Mauldin can win it in the trenches, I see this as a W for Mauldin.
Next up, Brendan.
I feel like, as Marco said, there will be a decent bit of the beast. And when you get the beast going, I feel like George Ford will also get going. He'll be one of the bigger players in this game. Because in low-scoring games, we really need the run game to get going. Because the passing has been a little rough over the past few years, and the run is really what's been keeping us going through. So I feel like it'll be a close game, but the Mavericks defense will make a stop at the end for a win.
Next up, Landon.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. It should be a defensive battle. I do agree. Beast formation will be a big factor, and like Brennan said, George Ford will be a big factor going into this game. I think it will be, again, like I said, a low-scoring defensive battle, but I still got Mauldin pulling it out in a tight one.
And then we got Kevin.
I'm thinking going against Spartanburg, our biggest thing is going to be being able to stop their quarterback Raheem Jeter. I think we did a good job last year playing him against Greer. I don't think it'll be that big of a challenge for us, being that we did it last year. But I think I'm going to go with Mauldin scoring really big, really high, and then Spartanburg not really scoring much. That's my prediction.
All right, well, I hate to be the guy, but I have to show that we're unbiased here. I got Spartanburg, maybe surprising to you. I just think that the prospect of two insane QBs in Raheem Jeter and Seth Smith, they don't really scare me as much as Paris Ferguson and Will Fowler do. I know our defense will be able to step up against whichever quarterback that they use against us, but Will Fowler's the best kicker in the state and one of the best in the nation. His range it's deep. So even if you stop them in the red zone, it's 3 points coming from Will Fowler. And we still don't know who our kicker is. Special teams is often the difference in the game of football, and I think it will be in this game. I think it will be another close one, maybe not overtime, but still close. I just got Spartanburg protecting their home field. Any final thoughts? Or we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with our interview with Deuce and Jameson. All right, we're back here live. Joining us in the garage today, Jameson Tucker, Deuce Caldwell. We got a quick interview with them. We'll start it off right now. For Jameson first, what is it like getting recruited during a global pandemic? And if you have had contact with college coaches before the outbreak, explain how it's changed. And if you have not had contact with coaches before, then just share how it works.
It's crazy because they gotta trust based solely off of film and stuff to evaluate you and to see what they want to do with you. Like, I only talked to ECU before, and they offered me before everything went down, and then I was gonna take a visit in April, but everything got shut down. So that's how that worked, because I was gonna take a visit. But William and Mary, North Carolina Central, and Army, they all did it after quarantine and stuff, so they just based it solely off of film and how I sound on the phone, really, how I talk when we were making our relationship.
Yeah. I'll phrase the same question to Deuce.
For me, it's kind of difficult not going to Mauldin. So I'm not really in touch with the coaches like that, but at the same time, it's like what Jameson said. They're basing me off of like my skills or my film, and it's kind of hard. But at the same time, all of this pandemic, I think it's gonna get better.
All right, another one for both of you. What does your daily schedule look like? How much time do you spend working out / watching film / preparing for the upcoming season?
I watch film a lot. It just depends on what time, but I'll wake up around 9 o'clock, go work out from 10 to 2 or 10 to 1, and then watch film for like 30, 45 minutes, and then like right after I'm done watching film, I'll go work out some more and do some field work and some drills. So.
Okay.
Well, for me, I wake up 9 o'clock like Deuce. I go eat breakfast, and then I go back to my room. I don't got weights at home, so I put weights on a broomstick, and I do whatever I can with the broomstick. I do whatever I can with the broomstick for like an hour, some core stuff, and then after that, eat lunch. Then at like 3, I go to Coach Gary, Coach Walt, upper echelon, yeah. So I go to Coach Gary around then, and then I eat dinner, and maybe my dad has some yard work for us to do, but that's about all.
The broomstick fits in well. We are recording a podcast in a garage.
Oh yeah, so.
We're all sitting in lawn chairs in a garage. So, next question. We'll move more towards the season again. Which game stands out to you the most on the schedule as one that you're excited for?
Definitely Greenville. Like, there's not every day you get to see that much talent on one field in Greenville County, especially playing at Mauldin. Like, we think this is our best season. We're confident in it going into it, and Greenville is just one of those games. It's a must win, but it's going to be exciting to watch for anyone that goes.
Yeah.
For me, I'll probably either have to say York or Hillcrest, because like I hate Hillcrest and I want to beat them, and like I feel like this is our year to beat them. But I feel like York, because it's going to be a new season. We have a new coach, a new system, new offense. And I feel like this is going to be our chance to, like, shock a lot of people who counted us out just because we lost, like, key players like Andrew Phillips and Elias Garza.
Facts.
Yeah, true. Next question. What were your initial thoughts and feelings when you heard Coach Cab would be stepping down and moving to Chapman? And likewise, what was your reaction when you heard that Coach Neesmith would be promoted to head coach?
For me, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of a hard experience because I don't go to Mauldin, so I didn't find out from, like, Coach Cab. Like, my teachers pulled me out of class, and I didn't know what was going on, so they pulled me out of class and was like, we just want you to know that your head coach has stepped down and took a job at Chapman. Like, I was kind of hurt, but I understand it's all a part of God's plan, and I guess it's not for him. I guess Chapman has something that Mauldin can't provide and doesn't offer. And when I found out Coach Neesmith is going to be coaching, I was real excited because he holds us to a high standard, and he holds us accountable for everything we do, all the little things. So I feel like with him being head coach, we're going to be held more accountable for the little things.
For me, when Coach Cab left, I remember I was in third period, and they were like, all football players report to the auditorium, and I was like, So we walked down there, and he told us, and it hurt because spent 3 years with the guy. Like, he started me my sophomore year, and it did hurt, but I get, like, it's a better situation for him at Chapman, and for his life, he had to do what he has to do, and gotta love him because 3 years, you don't break that bond because he takes a job. But
yeah, especially what he's done for the program in the 3 years that was here. He was very big, and we hope Coach Neesmith will do as well as he did. Now this question's just for Jameson. Have you been receiving any calls from basketball coaches as well, or has it just been football?
So far, it's just been football. For basketball, just a few D3, a few D2. But really for football, it's just been a lot more than I expected for basketball.
Another one. If you were to end up getting offers for both sports, which one would you prefer to play in college, or would you even try to play both?
I would definitely try to play both. I would. But if they say I can't play both, or if something like that happens, it's whatever scholarship is the greatest or whatever pays the most.
Yeah, sure. I remember, like, you used to see it a lot more back in the days. People have really slowed down and just began to focus on one sport. nowadays. This one's for Deuce. Do you think you'll play both sides of the ball again this season, or will you just stick to defense?
I'm gonna try to play both sides of the ball. I don't feel like I play one position. I feel like I can play more positions than I did last year. I'm just trying to work my body so I can be more physical and have a bigger presence than I had last year.
Yep. And then last one for Jameson. Do you think it'll be a big transition moving from one starting quarterback to another?
No, not really. I mean, I think Jeb's gonna get the job, and Jeb's who threw to me in ninth grade, and he threw to me all 3 years because he was still on varsity all of those 3
Yeah.
years. So I mean, I got a great relationship with Jeb, love the guy, and I'm not really fazed by a change of starting quarterback.
Yeah, that is one thing that Coach Neesmith pointed out in his interview is that this team, he said that this team loves each other as much as any team he's ever seen, and we can tell that from up in the box. And I know everyone else watching the game can tell that as well. I got one more, and then Kevin has one for you guys. It's for both of you. Do you have any updates on your recruiting? Any teams that are interested that have not offered? And you don't have to answer this one, but if you have a couple front runners, just say those if you would like. It's up to you. Jameson first.
I mean, Coastal, Wofford, and Middle Tennessee for me. What about you, Deuce?
For me, Florida State. That's a main one. That's a high one up there. Ole Miss.
That's a big one.
Ole Miss and Liberty. But
Yeah.
I keep in touch with like those coaches like Florida State, App State, and stuff like that. So.
Okay. And Jameson, do you have any front runners, or everyone even right now?
Everyone's even right now.
All right. The conservative answer. I'll give it to Kevin now. He has one question for you guys. Here's Kevin.
So I've noticed a battle going on in the locker room. Self-proclaimed drip gods. I'm just curious. Is there any new drip coming this season? I think Deuce is terrible when it comes to drip, in my opinion. But y'all got anything new for this year?
Well, for me, it's I've been getting my curls in, trying to get everything for my arms. So I'm still gonna go with the 2 leg sleeves.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to add an arm sleeve with that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But Deuce, since you wanna wear an arm sleeve and a leg sleeve every game.
no.
I like to switch it up. So this year, I feel like I'm not really gonna focus on my drip, but a game that stands out to me, I feel like York. I think that's gonna be probably my best drip game. I'm gonna have first game. You gotta start off strong. I'm known with the 2 arm sleeves, leg sleeves, but I might switch it up. Put a hoodie on or something like that. I might put the hoodie.
Yes, the hoodie
Yeah.
in 90-degree weather. Love it.
Yes.
I just hope we don't go orange pants for all home games except for 2 of them. Hope we go white pants more often. Just my opinion. But
Or all white.
or gray jerseys, brown jerseys,
Brown jerseys.
the Dookie Brown.
All white on. away
Coach
games.
Neesmith, if you hear this, go ahead and get those brown jerseys.
Yes, sir.
You know what they say, look good, play good. And we definitely look good.
Yes, sir.
And we're hoping we'll play good again. Now we'll move into – we got a special game here that I came up with. Jameson will pick a 7-on-7 team for offense of Mauldin players, and Deuce will pick a 7-on-7 game, a 7-on-7 team for defense, and then we will pick who we think would win.
All right, who's going first?
We'll do one at a time. So Jameson, you can start first. You want to go quarterback first?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. At quarterback, I got Dre Harris.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Who you want me to
Deuce,
start?
you can do middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker. I'm gonna go Chase Thompson.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
What do you want to go with, running back here or wide receivers?
Running back, I got Travius Blakely.
Okay.
Just explosive.
Sure.
Avarius Blakely. I said it wrong.
On left side linebacker, I'm gonna go Brandon Killer.
Okay. I like that. I like that one.
All right.
Wait, what was your running back again, Jameson?
Avarius Blakely.
Avarius Blakely. And then Deuce had Brendan Kilo.
I would have. He didn't go Mauldin.
All right, Jameson, you going with another running back, or you going to go the rest, tight ends and wide receivers?
Definitely going wide receiver.
Wide receiver next?
Outside wide receiver, I got to have 3-star coming out of JUCO, went to Florida, Dre Massey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This might be a shocker, but well, yeah, this might be a shocker, but I'm gonna have to say Coach Wash because
Okay.
he leads the high school record with the most PBUs
I did not know
in
that.
a whole season. So have to
At
say-
defensive back, or you're gonna put him at
I'm gonna
linebacker?
put him at corner.
Corner. Okay.
So yeah,
Jameson, another wide receiver.
You know, in the slot, gotta have him 2-star. Had some offers, didn't go to him though. Taz Richardson.
Oh yeah, for sure.
all right. That's a good one. That is a good one. For the other one, I'll probably have to say Thomas Tilson for the
Okay,
other
yeah.
outside linebacker.
Tilly, yeah. Outside, right outside
side.
linebacker. Okay. Jameson, another wide receiver.
In the slot, you know, he can motion into running back, but you know, I got George Ford in there.
Okay, yeah. King of the juke,
What I need now?
the human joystick, as he's known by Coach Wash.
For one, the other corner, I'm gonna have to say Jaden Lucas,
Okay, yeah.
4-star. Just
No, there's-
picked up a Clemson.
Didn't
offer.
really
That's-
doubt. Didn't really
that's-
doubt he was gonna be in there.
That's
No.
obvious.
Yeah. Jameson, what you going with? Another? What are you going with here?
Outside receiver, you know,
Outside.
got to get the 3-star Jameson Tucker.
Jameson
in
Tucker.
there.
All right. Not shocking either. How many? Are we 6?
Are we doing subs?
All right. Your fifth one. Your sixth one right here, Randy.
For my free safety, I'm gonna have to do the Kentucky Andrew Phillips.
I was wondering where you're gonna put him because I once I saw that you had Coach Washington and Jaden Lucas. I was wondering if you're gonna do another cornerback or you're gonna put him at free safety. I see you got free safety. Jameson, you going with a tight end here or another wide receiver?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yes, sir.
I got two people. I got two people. I gotta pick one now. I gotta have a sub. All right, can I have a sub?
Sure, we can do
All
one
right,
sub.
man. So if I'm going wide receiver, I gotta throw at the very inside slot. I gotta throw Mitchell Norman in there.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then Norman in there.
Okay. Yeah.
But then if I got a tight end, I gotta put Chris Paez in there. So
Wow. That's a very good offensive team. We'll see Deuce's last pick.
I'm gonna also have a sub for my first pick. I'm gonna have to pick myself. You know,
the Randy Deuce call.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Next, if I had a sub, I either have to say Sean Puck or
Okay.
Jalen Anderson.
Okay.
So I'll pick Jalen
Wow.
Anderson.
All right, so I'll read off the teams. Jameson's offense: QB Dre Harris, running back Avarius Blakely, wide receiver Dre Massey, Taz Richardson, George Ford, Jameson Tucker, and Mitch Norman. And there's one sub as a tight end, Chris Paez. And then Deuce's defense is Chase Thompson, middle linebacker. His two outside linebackers are Brendan Kelo and Thomas Tillotson. His two cornerbacks are Kevin Washington and Jaden Lucas. And then this free safety, Andrew Phillips. And then I guess he's going to put himself at strong safety, Deuce Caldwell. And then the sub is Jalen Anderson. So this is two really good teams. So we'll start with Brendan. Brendan, who do you think would win this game?
I'm gonna have to go defense just because
Yes, sir.
it's just so much talent. There's a lot of young talent in there too. I feel like the offense had a few more graduated players than the defense. The defense is really in some of its prime right now, producing players.
That's true. And then we'll go Marcos next.
I'm gonna also go defense.
Sir. Yes,
I
sir.
think that there's some game changers on the defense, and of course they've played together for a long time, so it's gonna be close. But at the end of the day, defense wins games.
Well, obviously, I mean, Mauldin's known as maybe it's just me, but defensive back high school right now. But I mean, you got to remember how strong the offense was in the early 2010s, which most of Jameson's offense is. And I mean, really from 2011 to 2014, 2015, we had so many good receivers coming out of Mauldin High School. So I'm going to go with the offense. I'm going to go against the norm.
All right, Kevin.
Tough.
I'm gonna have to go with the offense here. A little biased there, just because I'm a former offensive player, JV wide receiver, the best JV wide receiver there ever was. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Dre Harris and Dre Massey at receiver, and then, I mean, I feel like they have good chemistry and kill the defense.
All right, Landon.
I'm going with the defense. Just
Sir.
Jameson, you picked a better team than I thought you would for offense, but and we do have better defense than offense. It would be a tight game if it were to happen, though.
Let's see here. This one's tough. I just think the versatility of the offense would win this game because you got Mitch Norman who could play QB and wide receiver, Chris Pius who could play tight end. You can line up at running back as well. You got Dre Massey who could play wide receiver. Dre Harris can play a couple different positions. I got the offense. We'll tie it up 3-3.
I say you call Coach Neesmith.
Call.
I say you call Coach. Call Coach Caldwell.
We could. I'll text him and see if he's available. But we'll probably have to get back to that at the end. Who? Coach Neesmith. All right. I'll text him right now. We'll see if he's available.
He tuning in, you know. He was like, he's gonna tune in. Look, I'm just no.
I'll send him a picture first.
Yes.
Wait, I gotta scroll.
Okay. I got some. How many offers? He's a defensive coordinator. How many offers? Oh, if you put your team versus my team, offers wise, come on. That's like 50 offers.
One player has like 20 of them. Look, but that's D1 talent versus Taz had ECU.
You forgot somebody.
Whoa.
You forgot probably one of the best players. Two good people. Ty Quentin Coleman.
Oh, I knew that, but
yes,
look,
Coach Andrew Clark.
I know, but I
Coach
know
Clark
what I
was
watched.
good.
You talking about the
Look, bro, Deuce.
Yes. Oh, look at this film running back.
No, pull up a Various' film.
Avarius was good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like in a real 7-on-7, it won't be.
Oh yes, because Various can run. He can run and catch.
I'm
He's
telling
fast.
you.
But you got Brandon locking that up.
In a real 7-on-7, Coach Oscar will beat everyone.
The goat. Yes, the goat.
You put that man in pads, put him on the field, he's still gonna run everybody over.
That's facts. 10 yards per carry. Kevin, what was it? Right power every play.
Yes.
You remember that talk?
All right, and while we wait for Coach Neesmith to get back to us, we'll move into our the trivia section. I got go somewhere else before you see the answers. I got 5 questions. They're all about the NBA. Everyone will answer these. First question here. Let me get it. What player? This one should be an easy one. That's why I'm making Marcos go first on these. Well, we're actually testing Marcos and not his ability to copy other people's answers. What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962? Is it Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, or Bill Russell? Into the mic.
Can you read the question again?
What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962?
Okay. And can you read the offense again?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, or Bill Russell?
I'm gonna go with A.
Marcos picks Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Everyone else knows the answer, right?
Yes.
The correct answer is Wilt, so everyone gets it right. This is why we made Marcos go first. Everyone got that right except for him. All right, next question.
I'm not really good at trivia.
I'm not either.
Who was the first player in NBA history to be elected league MVP by a unanimous vote? Marcos. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, or LeBron James?
Read the first two.
Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan.
I'll go Magic Johnson.
All right. Ben?
Stephen Curry.
Brendan?
Magic Johnson.
Jameson?
Hold on, what were the answers?
Magic, Michael Jordan, LeBron, or Steph?
You said unanimous?
Yeah, unanimous vote. The first one. I think he's the only one as well.
I think it's Steph.
All right, Deuce.
I'm gonna have to say Steph Curry. Say Steph Curry.
Landon
Steph.
and Kevin.
Steph Curry.
It is Stephen Curry.
Everybody's copying each other.
That's why we made you go first. All right.
Yeah, everybody knew that.
Well, I'm sorry for giving it away. Yeah. Okay, we got a text back from Coach Neesmith.
Okay,
Can,
yes,
can we
sir.
get a drum roll, please?
He's going defense.
Team Jameson. And his explanation, Coach Washington is a liability out there.
But no, listen, no. But listen.
I won.
Okay,
I won.
okay.
I won.
So you're telling me Coach Wash in his prime, with the most PBUs in Greenville County history, South Carolina, to be exact, is not gonna lock up Jameson Tucker? Come on. And then if you throw the ball, you got Deuce Caldwell in the back, Andrew Phillips in the back. Oh my goodness.
Hold on, look at this.
Jaden Lucas.
See, look. But what did I do at practice? I stood behind Coach Washington DBs, looking at everything he taught y'all, and he didn't even know all that when he was in high school.
Okay, but this is like I'm talking about now though. Like now, if Coach Wash was in our shoes now.
But you said prime now.
In their prime, yeah. But like
Okay, but he didn't know what he knew.
Coach Wash is in his prime now. Don't get me wrong. Coach Wash is in his
Coach
prime.
Wash will forever be in his prime. Till he's
That's what I'm
99
saying.
years old.
He is in his prime right now. Has coached some of the best DBs to come out of Greenville County.
But he didn't know what he knows now.
It's DBU. It's
But
DBU.
still.
Still.
Dude, you
but
think in high school he was thinking he was gonna teach
It's
DB?
Mauldin is DBU, not WRU. Come on, that's not. It don't make sense. Mauldin
Alright,
is DBU.
but still, he didn't know. All we're trying to say is he didn't know back in high school what he knows now about being a DB.
I think that's true as well. But I didn't specify what mentality they were playing.
That's
at.
what I'm saying. Come on.
Bro, all right.
In a real game, okay.
Bro, in a real 7-on-7?
Yeah, real 7-on-7. FCA rules.
I wasn't even there.
Oh.
In a real 7-on-7,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked, Coach Nee.
yes.
I'm shocked, Coach Nee. Coach Nee, if you hear this,
defensive coordinator.
Coach Nee, if you hear this, I am shocked. We need to talk right after this interview. We need to talk.
I'm just saying, man.
All right, we'll get back to trivia. Next question, third question. Who was the youngest player to score 10,000 points total in the NBA? Kobe, Wilt, LeBron, or MJ? Marcos.
LeBron.
Ben.
Michael Jordan.
Brendan.
Jordan.
Jameson.
Michael Jordan.
Deuce.
I'm gonna have to say Michael Jordan.
Landon.
LeBron.
I think it is Michael Jordan.
And Kevin.
No.
Not too sure, but I'm gonna go with Kobe Bryant.
This might be a little bit surprising, but it is LeBron. I picked LeBron, but I think the main reason LeBron got there first is because he had a head start on MJ and most of these other players.
Yeah, he started at 18.
Yeah, he came straight to the NBA out of high school. But Kobe did as well. But LeBron had to carry a team. LeBron had to carry a team for five plus seasons.
His
So
other best player was Ilgauskas.
well, but LeBron he did, but LeBron still had the. That's an argument. That's an argumentable topic. Fourth question. Let's see. What team owns the longest winning streak in NBA history? And I'll admit this is the question I got wrong. Was it the Heat, Lakers, Bulls, or Warriors? Which team has the longest winning streak in NBA history?
Has to be the Warriors.
Marcos?
Could be the Lakers. Could be the Heat.
Are you talking
Well, there's four possible answers.
season?
Yeah, just like
Oh,
a
in a-
winning
oh, in a
winning
season
streak.
is what?
Not overall wins, but
Oh,
a
yeah.
winning streak.
Oh yeah, in a season, yeah.
Marcos.
Warriors.
Ben.
It's the Los Angeles Lakers. Los Lakers.
Brendan.
The Lakers.
Jameson.
Oh.
Lakers.
Wait, what are the options again?
You already answered.
In a
Nah,
season.
dude, nah, 'cause
Yeah.
when they had
It's a box.
Landon.
Lakers.
Deuce.
I'm gonna say Golden State.
And Kevin.
In a season?
It is the Lakers. I picked
Yeah, because Kobe
I
and
thought-
Shaq. I knew it.
I picked the Heat actually.
I thought you were talking about like most games
Oh, are
in
you
a
serious?
season.
No. I thought it would. Yeah.
Bro.
That it made sense to me after the Heat had the second most when they had.
Right.
It was literally just the Lakers and the Celtics.
Oh.
The Heat had
Represent.
the second most when they had the big three: LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. And the final question. It's actually a college basketball. This one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who is the all-time leading scorer in men's college basketball history? Is it Larry Bird, Steph Curry, Freeman Williams, or Pete Maravich? Pistol Pete, if that helps, Marcos. Marcos, you're up first. Third one? Freeman Williams.
I'm gonna go Pete.
All right. Ben? Brendan.
Steph.
Okay.
What you doing?
Who's next? Jameson.
I'm gonna go with my man Freeman, bro.
Landon.
Pistol Pete.
Kevin.
Gonna go with my boy Pete.
Yes.
Deuce, you got Pete as well?
I have Pistol Pete.
It is Pistol Pete. So that means Landon wins. 2 weeks in a row, Landon wins.
Smack him.
Right? Landon's the only one that got everyone right, yeah.
You gotta mention what makes it even more impressive is Pistol Pete did it without a 3-point line.
That is true. Pistol Pete, he was a great guy. LSU, right? LSU?
1960.
Straight stick. I'm joking.
Yeah, so that's gonna do it. Landon wins trivia week 2 and 3. He's got a winning streak 2 in a row. Well, we'll make Marcos study try to win this week so he can try to win something and not
knowing
get
Wilt
slapped.
Chamberlain scored like what? Like, how do you not know that?
I should get a pat on the back for making him go first though, because he would have copied every single person's answers. All right, and so we'll try to get to both the basketball and NFL. So we'll go straight into it. The NBA, it was announced that it will return. What was it? June 17th, I think.
Yeah.
July 17th is when the training camp starts. July 31st is when the games start. The finals will end no later than October 12th. 22 teams will be returning: the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, 76ers, Nets, Magic, and Wizards from the Eastern Conference. And from the Western, the Hornets were not good enough. The Western Conference, it's Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Thunder, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns. I don't know exactly how many games they're playing, but they're playing like 10 games to figure out the final seeds. It's not on there. Oh, and there's like a play-in tournament for the 8th seed. If a team with the 8th best record in the conference is more than 4 games ahead of the team with the 9th best record in the same conference, there is no play-in tournament necessary. But if the team with the 8th best record in its conference is 4 games or fewer ahead of a team with a 9th best record in the same conference, then we'll have a battle for the final spot between those 2 teams. The tournament would be a best of 2 series where the number 9 seed would have to win 2 head-to-head matchups, while the 8 seed would only have to win 1. So that's interesting. One conspiracy theory that I came up with was that what's his name? Adam Silver only is only doing this to get Zion in the playoffs. That's my thoughts on it. But I'm not against that. It's smart. Zion's gonna sell tickets. Well, not gonna sell tickets. There will be no fans. He's gonna get people to watch.
Got another one today. Which, to be fair, with the state sports in, I don't think they really need Zion even to watch. That is true.
Zion would help though.
Yeah.
I guess anyone would help. But seeing Zion against LeBron, you're gonna take off work to see that.
Yeah.
So now while we're on the topic of basketball, we're here with Legacy basketball player Deuce Caldwell, and Legacy's got some big transfers over this week and over the past couple of months, and they were already a very good team last year. But I'll just detail who I think their starting five will be. They got 3 returners. Guard Jacoby Wright offers from USC, UNC Wilmington, Coastal Carolina, Tulsa, South Florida, and UNC Charlotte. They got another returner, Ike Cornish, will be a forward. He's a 4-star, top 75 in the nation, number 3 in South Carolina. His top 6 are Rutgers, Virginia Tech, St. John's, Xavier, Georgetown, and Maryland. He's 100% crystal balled to Maryland. And their final returner, who I think will start, will probably be the center, I believe. It's Perry Smith Jr. He is a junior in his class, a rising junior. He's a 6'9" forward with offers from Texas A&M, TCU, LSU, Nebraska, and DePaul. I think that's right. And then he has interest from NC State, Clemson, and South Carolina. He plays for Team United, AAU, and the Nike EYBL circuit. And then their 2 incoming transfers, both 4 stars according to 247. Bryce McGowan's top 42 in the nation, the number 1 player in South Carolina. All signs seem to point towards him playing for Broward Brownell and Clemson before he ultimately decided to commit to Florida State. He's very capable of scoring an ISO ball. He's a good jump shooter and can slash as well. So he can handle the ball, or he can be the 2 guard. They can let Jacoby Wright bring it up if they want. And then the final player, probably the biggest. It depends on what you're thinking, but it depends on your viewpoint. But I think it's the bigger transfer. You got Keon Edwards, a 4-star, number 56 in the nation, has been as high as number 13 in the nation according to 247. He is committed to DePaul. He participated in the Team USA camp last July. He's played for Findlay Prep and Hillcrest Prep in high school. And then his AAU team last year was the Texas Hard Work out of, obviously, Texas. So, Deuce, I don't even know how to phrase this, but I have one question that we'll come to next. But just talk about some of your expectations for this team coming up. I know it's a long ways away, but just say how excited you are. I know you're excited to play with some of these great talents.
I'm really excited to get back on the court and just show everybody what we have. I feel like since we lost a lot of people, since our championship team in 2017, 2018, we've not really been known, but I feel like we've always been known in South Carolina of being like one of the top teams in South Carolina. And since we've beaten like good teams like Hillcrest and Westwood and Huntington Prep, I feel like we've been known around the country. So I'm just ready to get back on the court.
Yeah, something interesting about them. I think you guys play on the national schedule, right?
Yeah.
So they don't really play as many South Carolina teams as Dorman did this year. We'll get back to that in a second, but they'll play more teams on the national level. They get to travel a lot more.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't. They don't play a state championship. All they have is like individual tournaments. Maybe we'll see them in the Geico Nationals this year if they live up to some of the hype they're getting. But the big topic that I thought of when I heard that Keon Edwards was coming was that I wonder if this team would be better than the Dorman team that we saw this last season. Dorman had the 3 big players in PJ, Miles, and Justin Amati. And obviously, because those 3 graduated, we won't be able to see them play. But it just made me think, which is a better team? I know Legacy hasn't played in these teams, but on paper, they're insane.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Deuce?
I feel like, I'm always gonna be a Legacy player. I feel like we're the better team. But I feel like they're also, I can't discredit them. They're a really good team. Don't get me wrong. Like got PJ Hall, 7 foot, dunks anything. Justin Amati, he's just athletic. But I'm gonna have to say, if we played them, I feel like we would beat them.
Do you think that with these new 2 transfers, do you think like chemistry could be a problem getting to know these 2 players without getting to practice with them over the off season?
Not really, because I know everybody on Legacy, we're all really close. Like, we are either on the phone or texting on the group message. So if we have a new player, we always like to bring them in and just tell them, like, hey, this is Legacy and such like that. And everybody knows each other, like, because they either play EYBL, Adidas Gauntlet, so they know each other. So
Yeah, that's true. And Jameson, you actually got to play against Dorman last year. So say what that was like, and if you have who do you think's a better team?
Well, having gotten traumatized by Dorman in my years of high school, actually, I don't know, because Legacy, I went to go see them play this year at Greenville in that tournament. They played Combine Academy, and, you know, Deuce was dunking in warm-ups, you know. Okay, but they did pretty good, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like with the transfers they have now against Dorman, they would win because Legacy has that depth that Dorman just doesn't have.
That is true. And especially Dorman, they're losing over half their team. They were all seniors. It just lined up perfectly. They were already the best team in 5A like years before that, but it just lined up perfectly for them to be one of the best teams in the nation. And they could have won the Geico Nationals. It would have been at their high school if it would have been played, but unfortunately it got canceled. I know I would have been at that watching Dorman and
Me too.
supporting South Carolina. But Legacy very well. They could replace Dorman and representing South Carolina at the national level and the Geico Nationals this year. And I know some of their games will be on TV. I forget what that other tournament is called at the beginning of the year. That's on TV. Yeah. What is that? No. There's like a tournament that they played like around Christmas time.
Oh, Palms, Isle of Palms.
City of Palms.
City of Palms, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dorman didn't play that last year because they weren't really well recognized until they started making that a couple runs. And if Mauldin would have we would have beat Dorman might not have been in the same position. We remember that hurts so much. We're not blaming this on you, but that first half was one of the most fun I have ever had broadcasting.
That's the best.
Yeah, I was sitting in the stands. I enjoyed it.
Stadium was pumping too.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we had a great season last year. Mauldin, Dorman did, but hopefully we'll be able to replace Dorman because they lost a lot of players. We're getting a lot of players back. Legacy, well, you have to keep an eye on them. They're gonna have a great team. I think we'll have time for free agency. Marcos, you wanna start with what are we doing? AFC South. Yeah. So now we'll transition to football. Marcos and Brendan and whoever else wants to comment. We'll start with. Hello.
Jaheim.
Oh, we'll do the AFC South free agency. Brendan, you're up first.
Okay, first is the Texans. Their losses this year were wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who was one of the best receivers in the league right now. DJ Reader, who went to the Bengals. And Jonathan Joseph, cornerback that was picked up by the Titans in free agency. They added Randall Cobb from the Cowboys and David Johnson from the Cardinals. Overall, it was kind of average year for them. They didn't do a crazy amount.
Just want to make a comment on that.
That was one of the worst trades ever, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, why would you trade who I think is the best wide receiver in football
Questionably.
for just like not questionably? He catches anything.
He does.
Like, exactly. And I mean, that is just a terrible trade. But now I think the Cardinals are actually going to be good because they have Kyler Murray and
yeah, that's just
DeAndre
an
Hopkins.
additional weapon for Kyler Murray if you really think about it.
Free agency. It's basically a free agency, except you didn't really have to pay to acquire it.
Yeah, it is. I wonder how big the DeAndre's contract really was. I don't think it was that big.
Yeah, I mean, even if D-Hop was trying to get out, I mean, you got to find something better out of what they got.
First round pick. I think you got to get a first round out of that, and maybe.
Yeah. No question. You got to get a top level player. Not that I know. I mean, even if he was, that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say that he was unhappy.
I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, so really questionable. And then David Johnson, although he is a quality running back, there's better options out there. So, who's next, Brendan?
Honestly, my draft grade for them was a C-, just because they didn't really like. Randall Cobb is a pretty good wide receiver, but you just can't replace DeAndre Hopkins. And then for the Indianapolis Colts, they lost Pierre Desser, cornerback to the Colts. But then their additions, they got Phillip Rivers, who has had a long career as a Charger, DeForest Buckner, D lineman from the 49ers, and Xavier Rhodes from the Vikings.
Now, going to that, Phillip Rivers has always been a decent quarterback. He's always been above average, one of the top 10, I'd say. But now as he's getting older, he's kind of getting washed up. That's why the Los Angeles Chargers got rid of him. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does there at the Colts, especially since their last decent quarterback is obviously Andrew Luck, who retired early. So it's going to be interesting how he works with T.Y. Hilton. But overall, I'd give this...
How his family's going to be able to move out there. What does he have, like 20 children?
He has, I think, 7 children, yes. It's insane. It's kind of insane.
I thought he had a lot.
Yeah, well, that's still a lot. I mean,
20 seems like a lot more than 7.
well, yeah, for sure. And then Xavier Rhodes, who was an elite cornerback. So, but he's kind of getting old. I want to say he's around 30-some years old. So, I'd say the Colts had a pretty good free agency period. I'd give them a B+. What do you give them, Brendan?
I'll give them an A-, mainly because Phillip Rivers will be replacing Jacoby Brissett, and Phillip Rivers is just a step up from Jacoby Brissett. And then...
Jameson disagrees with that.
I mean, Jacoby Brissett, I mean, you might look at his overall in Madden, it's like 69, but I still think that the Colts actually liked him, and he just fit in the Colts, as in Phillip Rivers is new coming in, and he's getting old. So
I think that the Colts set up a system for Jacoby Brissett for him to succeed, but I think that he's reached his peak. I don't think he has like that talent that quarterbacks need in the NFL.
But you're telling me Jacoby Brissett has reached his peak and Phillip Rivers hasn't?
No, I'm saying Phillip Rivers has a better peak than – I say he's a better option than Dorsett. I really do think so. I mean, yeah, he throws –
Brissett.
We'll just not talk about that. He throws a lot of interceptions, but he has a great deep ball, and we saw what he could do with receivers like Keenan Allen, and now he has T.Y. Hilton.
Where did they go?
I guess we'll stay tuned.
And then for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lost A.J. Boyd, who was a cornerback to the Broncos. They lost quarterback Nick Foles to the Bears, D lineman Calais Campbell, and Marcel Darius to free agency. But they added Joe Schobert, Tyler Eifert, who's a tight end from the Bengals, and Al Woods, D lineman from the Seahawks.
And isn't there speculation that Leonard Fournette wants to leave the Jaguars? I know they were trying to trade him in the draft. So questions there, especially since running backs these days don't get those big contracts that people like Todd Gurley used to get. Because once Todd Gurley got that big contract, the injuries came, and now he's playing for Atlanta. Yeah, and Le'Veon Bell also got a huge... That's true. That is true. And then Le'Veon Bell, kind of the same thing. Skipped a year at Pittsburgh to get that big contract with the Jets, but he hasn't really been producing much, and I've heard that they want to trade Le'Veon Bell. So interesting to see what's going to happen with Leonard Fournette coming off his rookie contract. Is he on the franchise tag right now? I don't want to speculate, or he might be on the last year. I think he might be on his last year, actually. So it's going to be interesting where he goes next year. I highly doubt he'll stay with the Jaguars. And then AJ, where did AJ go? AJ Boyd? Oh, yeah. So that's going to solidify the Broncos secondary, who lost Chris Harris, who was an elite cornerback for them, especially with their days when they won the Super Bowl 50. But Joe Sherbert from the Cleveland Browns at inside linebacker is going to help tremendously, and he's going to produce great with their other inside linebacker, Mac. But interesting from the Jaguars, I'd give them a B+ as well. What would you give them?
I'd give them a B, just because overall they freed up some cap space, getting rid of Nick Foles, which was a smart decision by them. They can get a better quarterback than Nick Foles really is for that. And then the Titans lost Jack Conklin, who was an O-tackle, one of their main 5, who's now on the Browns. Jarrell Casey, D lineman, another one going to the Broncos. Tajay Sharp went to the Vikings, who's a wide receiver. And their key addition was Vic Beasley from the Falcons. But really the bigger part of their offseason so far has been re-signing Ryan Tannehill and franchise tagging Derrick Henry.
And is Ryan Tannehill the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans? He's done good. He's taken them to the playoffs, but I'd say he's like a Jacoby Brissett. He doesn't have that potential that an elite quarterback has. He's a decent quarterback, but he doesn't have that potential to go all the way. Would you agree, Randy?
Yeah, I would.
I mean,
They could just end up being like the 49ers last year, just handing it off the whole time. Do they really need him that much?
see, my thing is Ryan Tannehill. He's not an elite quarterback. He's not going to be the quarterback that wins you games.
But they paid him like an elite quarterback. You saw the contract?
I don't disagree with that, but just talking about his skill alone, he's not an elite quarterback that's going to win you games. He's a solid quarterback that's not going to lose you games.
But we saw what happened with the Dolphins, and he's injury prone. An injury took him out the entire season, and then who's behind him? Because Marcus Mariotti's out of there. He's at the Oakland Raiders. So it's going to be interesting. And then Derrick Henry, you need to pay that man. He literally carries the team.
He didn't have a Derrick Henry in Miami, though.
He had the Jay, what was his name? Jay Ajayi?
Yeah, that's not Derrick Henry.
But he was good back then. He was good.
That's not Derrick Henry.
He was
level.
good.
No,
But Derrick
that's not
Henry,
the same thing.
I think money should have been spent on Derrick Henry instead of Ryan Tannehill.
I don't necessarily
And I know-
disagree with your stance on money. I'm just saying on the field alone.
Players happy, or they're decent morale level with signing the franchise tag. You have to put them on that, because you saw what happened with Dak Prescott. He didn't want to be on the tag, so
Yeah.
he's not signing it.
And I don't think Derrick Henry wants to be on the tag. I think he wants to get paid.
But he's not gonna hold out like Dak.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
You're not holding out on the franchise tag. You have to.
For sure.
I agree with Andrew. Titans could go pretty deep this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, but looking into the future, is Derrick Henry paying himself out of Tennessee?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
I think he's
this year
going.
alone, I think Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry is a great combination.
Jameson, what do you say about that?
I think if I don't know, Derrick Henry, he doesn't seem like that type of guy. I mean, you saw Le'Veon Bell. What Le'Veon Bell did when he wanted his money. But I think Derrick Henry's a want to win at all times type of guy. So no matter how much money he gets, he's going to play his heart out.
Exactly. I agree with you there. And that's going to do it for the NFL free agency.
That's going to do it for our whole podcast. We thank Jameson and Deuce for coming and letting us interview them and playing a game with them. It was lots of fun. Next week we got some MHB and alumni. We got Trey, Chris, and Connor. They all go to Alabama. They'll be with us. I think we're gonna do more NFL free agency. We might do some NBA. I haven't really decided after that. And then we'll preview the big one, Mauldin versus Greenville. That's a really huge one. You got very big name recruits on both sides of the ball. So make sure you tune into that next week, Friday, 5 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you next week.